This is the story of Ethan, a store cashier who gets fired for a simple act of compassion, giving a young mother some diapers she couldn't afford. Just when it feels like his world is falling apart, a helicopter touches down nearby, and someone steps out who might just turn his entire life around. That would be $20.90, ma'am, Ethan said as he handed the bill to a teenage girl wearing torn jeans, a crying baby in her arms. The infant, likely around 6 months old, wouldn't stop wailing. "Shut her up," a young man snapped, not even glancing up from his phone. The girl quickly pulled a pacifier from her jeans pocket, and the baby finally settled down. She then reached into her pocket and pulled out a single bill, far less than the total. She glanced up at Ethan, her helpless eyes striking a chord in him. The young man barked again. "Come on, we don't have all day. Can't you move faster?" Ethan's heart sank as he watched her struggle, but bound by store policy, he asked, "Ma'am, would you like me to remove any of these items?" The girl looked down at her small selection, just baby food and diapers. Ethan understood she needed everything she'd selected, yet she simply didn't have enough money. With visible hesitation and a heavy heart, she reached for the diapers. "I don't need this," she murmured. Ethan quietly set the diapers aside and recalculated the total. "That'll be $10.99, he told her. She handed over her last dollar and began to walk away. When Ethan called out, You can keep the diapers," the girl stopped, stunned. "Are you sure? I mean, I don't have the money to pay," she said. "I made a mistake, actually," Ethan replied with a smile. "There's a promotion today. You're a lucky customer, randomly chosen for a gift, and I think these diapers will be just the right one for you." She looked at him with joy and gratitude. "Thank you so much. This is a gift from heaven," she said, tears welling up as she held his hand. "You don't know how much this means to me." Ethan patted her shoulder as she turned, nearly dancing out of the store, kissing her baby's cheek. She had never imagined she'd be able to afford the diapers. "The young girl we met today is Rachel Bennett, daughter of Helen and Martin Bennett, and younger sister to Victoria Bennett. She was living her dream life until she met Travis, captain of the high school basketball team. As captain of the cheerleading squad, Rachel was no less popular. Soon, they became the talk of the school, an enviable, charismatic couple. Rachel was deeply in love with Travis, but Travis wasn't interested in commitment. He stayed with Rachel for the popularity boost. It was only later, when she became pregnant with little Maya, that Rachel realized his true intentions. Her parents couldn't accept her teenage pregnancy, and Travis showed no sympathy, already dating Zoe, the daughter of superstar Caleb. Learning of Travis' betrayal crushed Rachel, but she found purpose in her unborn child. After Maya's birth, seeing her tiny fingers and toes, Rachel knew she'd made the right choice. She embraced her daughter with all her love and care. But soon, Rachel realized love alone wouldn't be enough to support her baby. She took a job as a janitor at a high school, tying Maya to her back while she worked, as there was no one else to look after her. She fashioned a baby carrier from old clothes. But one day, the principal saw her breastfeeding near the cafeteria and gave her a warning. After that, Rachel secretly brought Maya to work. One afternoon, a young girl, just a couple of years younger than Rachel, slipped on the wet floor. She tripped over a pacifier left behind in the hall. The girl, the mayor's spoiled daughter, caused an immediate scene. "Why is there a pacifier in the school? Whose baby is still using a pacifier here?" she demanded, laughing with her group. Some students smirked while others murmured in disapproval. Though the principal managed the incident, Rachel lost her job. After all, she had ruined the mayor's daughter's day. No one else would hire her after that. It had been a month since then, and life hadn't gotten any easier for Rachel, but today was different. For once, something good had happened. After months of hardship, she received a blessing, and tears of joy filled her eyes. She was walking home when a limousine pulled up in front of her, startling her as she stepped back. Meanwhile, Ethan opened the door to his small apartment and collapsed onto the bed. That day, he'd lost the only job he had, the result of giving a struggling mother a free item, something he wasn't authorized to do as a low-ranking employee. His new manager, Travis, had made that crystal clear when he fired him. Ethan sighed as he looked at his calendar. Christmas was around the corner, and he promised his parents he'd visit this year, bringing presents for his little nephew. But now, with no job and rent due, he wasn't sure how he'd keep that promise. Ethan closed his eyes in despair, haunted by memories of his late sister Ellie. She had died so young, all because she'd fallen for the wrong man and become a teenage mother. The jerk Jack had completely ignored her when she needed him most. Why would he care? By then, he was already dating someone else. Ethan's parents had cast Ellie out, unable to accept her choices. At the time, Ethan was chasing dreams in another city, unaware of her struggles. Had he known, he would have done anything to help. But by the time he learned the truth, she was already gone. One day, exhausted and lost in thought, Ellie stepped into the road, unaware the light had turned green. The crash was sudden. Ethan jolted awake from the memory, heart pounding. Her baby, cradled in the carrier she wore, had survived. But Ethan never forgot the pain of that day. His parents realized their mistake too late and raised little Robbie in her memory. Seeing the young mother at the store brought everything back. Ellie's face, her pain, his guilt. He tried to make things right through one small act of kindness, never thinking it would cost him his job or break his promise to Robbie. Oh great. Why did I have to rent an apartment next to a hotel with a helipad? He thought, frustrated. Every time I'm in a foul mood, another helicopter lands with that awful noise. He walked to the window to close it, but then noticed someone stepping out of the helicopter, a woman around his age, dressed in a sharp black suit with matching trousers and sunglasses that added to her confident look. A man, perhaps her assistant, leaned in to say something and pointed directly at Ethan's apartment. Ethan's stomach twisted. Am I just imagining things? He wondered, shaking it off. There's a distance between the hotel and here. I must be overthinking. He closed the window, missing the sight of another teenage girl stepping out of the helicopter, carrying a baby in a carrier. Ring ring. Ethan had just finished showering and was drying his hair when he heard the doorbell. Tossing the towel onto his bed, he moved to open the door. Standing there was the same woman he'd seen step out of the helicopter. So I wasn't imagining things. That man did point at my apartment, he thought. Ethan Anderson? The woman asked. Yes, he replied, curious. I'm Victoria Bennett, owner of the Bennett Hotel chain. Could we talk for a moment? She asked. Victoria Bennett. Ethan's mind raced. The Victoria Bennett, who owns over 50 hotels and recently won Youngest Entrepreneur of the Year in a business magazine. Why is she here? Am I in some kind of trouble? Excuse me, Victoria said gently, noticing his silence. Snapping back to reality, Ethan stammered, Oh, I'm so sorry. Please come in. Victoria stepped into his cozy apartment. Would you like some tea or coffee? He offered. No, thank you. She smiled and took his hands in hers. I'm here to thank you. You're the only person who showed such kindness to my sister, and I'll never forget the compassion you showed her. Your sister? Ethan's face filled with surprise. Yes, the girl you helped at the store, the one you lost your job over for giving the free diapers. She's my sister Rachel, Victoria explained, leaving Ethan speechless. So Rachel is Rachel Bennett, Ethan managed to say, stunned. He could hardly believe he'd given free diapers to someone who could probably buy the entire diaper company. Victoria laughed lightly. Yes, unfortunately, she made a bad choice in trusting the wrong person. And instead of supporting her, our parents turned her away. I was overseas on business and had no idea what was going on until recently. How did you learn about me? Ethan asked. I have people who watch out for her, she replied. They found Rachel working as a janitor at a high school, and later they saw her at the store, the day you stepped in to help her. That gesture cost you your job. She smiled warmly. She reminded me of my sister. Ethan spoke softly. I wasn't there when my sister needed me, so I helped Rachel in her memory. You're one of a kind, Ethan. You shouldn't be punished for showing compassion, Victoria said with heartfelt appreciation. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a card. This is my office address, she said, handing it to him. Please come visit. We're searching for a musician, and I have a feeling you might be the one. She smiled knowingly as she placed the card in his hand. Ethan looked down at the card, stunned. Music had always been his true passion, something he had given up to take care of Robbie. But now, it felt like life was giving him a second chance to chase his dream. As he thought of Robbie, he couldn't imagine a more perfect moment. Tears welled in his eyes as his mother's words echoed in his mind. Do good, and good will come to you. What are your thoughts on this story? I'd love to hear your opinions, so please share them in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Stay tuned for our upcoming content. See you in the next video.